Hi guys, welcome back to Wicket. I'm Najee, and we have a distraught Naba here after Australia's loss yesterday. What did you think of the game, and what were your general thoughts?
Hmm, wasn't great.
What did Australia lose? I think it was 21 for 6?
7 for 23.
7 for 23. Yeah, it was. I don't know, how do you describe that? Well, it was pretty similar to what happened in their T20 game.
Yeah,
Pretty similar. They had like a not bad a not bad partnership followed by a huge cluster of wickets, which was pretty. It was pretty disappointing. You know, they they did well to keep England to like 200 ish, but then to be honest, they let it go in the back like three
yeah,
overs.
for sure.
Like I went to bed. It was like 47 overs or like 195 or something.
Yeah,
So how did they get like another 40
yeah,
runs? like, yeah, that was a bit disappointing, for sure, and that really hurt them at the end because they ended up,
yeah.
not being able to quite get there. Like they got 207. So, yeah, that was quite. Obviously, they bowled really well up until that point. I think Hazelwood again was really good.
Yeah,
Bowled a really good spell. As usual, he bowls quite a long opening spell. And he bowled really tight, really good areas. Yeah, really just test match bowling. I thought, yeah, he bowled really well. I thought Stark, yeah, he bowled not too bad. Cummings had bowled well, but I think in the last few overs he
Yeah.
was expensive. Zampa bowled really well.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. And yeah, I mean, English batting, I think Owen Morgan looked really good.
yeah,
He looked like he was in pretty good touch. He looked even in pretty good touch last game as well. He got out in a bit of an unlucky fashion.
yeah,
But Zampa bowled quite well to him. Really like attacking those pegs, not really giving him any room for that reverse sweep to come out and like hit it over in a backward point sort of area. So they bowled well to him, but he was one of the players who was scoring quite freely.
yeah,
Both of the captains, like Owen Morgan and Aaron Fisher, both looked like they were batting pretty well. Yeah, that was a pretty big wicket. Example bowled really well, really the whole ODI series so far. He's got, he's really been attacking the stumps and, getting enough turn to create some doubts and like some skid and also like bowling some runs as well.
yeah,
Yeah, it was good to see him doing well, especially after he had like a bit of a rough start in the T20s. But yeah, I don't know. Like, what did you think of Australia's bowling? I guess probably.
yeah. I mean, you probably covered most of the bases. I think Australia bowled pretty well up front. They bowled pretty well through the middle, and they let it go at the end. And I guess their batting is sort of similar. They were pretty. Oh, I mean, they lost the too early, the walking wicket Warner against Jofra. He was out early, as usual, and then who else got out? Stoinis. Stoinis was actually looking not bad until he got out. To be fair, but yeah, then he got out, and then Finch and Labuschagne got Australia in like a really good position, and then all of a sudden it just went haywire, and everyone just got out. Everyone just kept getting bowled. I don't know. The ball was staying a bit low and all that, but it was doing the same thing for England, and their batsmen, well, fought sort of through it. Like I guess Jarrett, although he like did it tough, he was still there for a lot of balls. He's still occupied. They could have gone rolled much more earlier if he hadn't. So yeah, Australia, yeah, like Finch, Labuschagne played well. One of them probably should have tried to take Australia home, and I guess I didn't expect too much from the likes of like Mitchell Marsh, Maxwell on this sort of deck, because I don't think their play suits slow, low sort of decks. It's like completely opposite of what Mitchell Marsh is used to in Western Australia, of course. And then yeah, their tail just sort of got ripped apart. But I think this win, you have to give more credit to Morgan's captaincy than the 2021. I think 2021 Australia gifted the win, while here Morgan, if you remember carefully, at 35 overs, he bowled out Jofra and Chris Works, which meant he went full for the kill. And it worked for him because they both got 3 wickets each, and they triggered that collapse. Like, he could have easily just bowled them like 6 or 7 each and kept them for the back, try and hold them back. But he went all out, just attack, and it worked for them, yeah. And then Rashid and Sam Curran finished off the job there. So it was good captaincy very good captaincy from Morgan, I think.
I mean, in a way, it opens up the tournament now. It's 1-1, so it'll be interesting to see the last game. I think it'll be interesting to see who Australia, what changes Australia make. I think, I don't think they'll change around too much, but Smith will have to come into the side.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a question mark on who's going to give their place for him.
Yeah.
But I think the way it stands, I mean, there's a few things that they could probably do. They're never going to do this, but they could drop Warner and put Stoinis up opening and then put Smith at 3. Because Warner hasn't had a good tour so far at all, unfortunately.
Archer's been his bunny, really.
Yeah, so that's one option they could do, but I think the more likely option is that they'll probably either opt out, like either Mitch Marsh or Stoinis to bring in Smith. But I think it would make more sense for them to drop Stoinis and bring in Smith, because Marsh is actually not bad is better in the lower order anyway.
Yeah.
While if you drop Marsh, you have to place Stoinis down at the bottom order, and he hasn't really done so well at the lower order. Yeah. So it probably works out. In terms of Australia, it would give a lot more stability to the top order, because then you have Finch, Warner. If they go down this way, so you have Finch, Warner, Smith, and Labuschagne. Yeah. So it's quite like a pretty solid top order. And then you get into your guys a bit more of hitters like Maxwell, Mitch Marsh, Alex Carey come into there as well. So yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you think they're gonna? Which avenue do you think they'll go? Do you think they'll just drop Stoinis for?
Yeah,
Smith,
I think they'll just drop Stoinis for Smith. I think it's pretty simple, because Mitchell Marsh has better bowling credentials as well, and yeah, I mean, no one else is going to get dropped from that side. Maxwell's not going to get dropped because his fielding's pretty good, and he did score 70 not long ago, as did Mitch Marsh. So they probably won't get dropped. And looking at England's side, I guess if Mark Wood's fit, then he'll come back in for Tom Curran probably, since Sam Curran actually bowled well. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, England's looking pretty set going into this final game. Australia still have question marks over that middle order, which once again has let them down. I think they'll be disappointed in knowing that they're going into this tour, they want to really answer those questions, but really the questions are still there. The same questions which they came in with, if not maybe more. Like with that Maxwell, Stoinis, Mitchell Marsh, Alex Carey conundrum. Still none of them have cemented their places. And also a worrying fact is that Warner's also lost his mojo by the looks of it for a bit going into this. Labuschagne's been not bad, Finch has been not bad. But yeah.
Finch has probably had another bad tour so far. She scored like runs almost every game, I think. Yeah.
I mean, looking at what these two teams want to look at, which they keep saying is the World Cup in 2023, I think England will be... Both teams have bowled very well. Australia's bowling attack could cover could be good anywhere around the whole world. Like the way they're bowling right now with Stark, Cummins, Zampa, Hazelwood as well, very good. But their batting attack, I don't see them doing very well in especially Indian conditions, in the low decks. To be fair, I don't think England will either do that well. I think India will do a lot better than either of these two sides. They still have a long way to go. But I guess still 2 years away, so they can try and work as hard as they can on their game up until that point,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you summed it up pretty well there. But yes, maybe the interesting last game. What do you think is your final predictions for this last game?
I think
a draw.
I mean, if Wood comes in for England and the bowling attacks are pretty much matched, I think Australia's was better than England's going into the second game. They let it go obviously at the end, but Bowling attack similar. Batting, I would say England is still better than Australia.
So I think England still has like they have question marks in their top order a little bit, like with Besto.
But it's with players who have done well before.
Yeah.
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 It's like the Warner thing with Australia. They're never gonna drop. They'll eventually come good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably. All he hopes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think England will probably get it done. Just the way they've been coming back from these close games, they seem to keep winning them, these tight encounters, even with Pakistan. They just seem to keep just getting over the line, which is very good on for their part.
Yeah.
And Australia look like they're, whether it's less match practice or what, I don't know, but they seem to keep losing these key moments.
Yeah. The key moments they seem to be giving them up to England. But I think it's tough. I think England are in the box seat with this last game. Obviously, I want Australia to win.
Yeah.
But look, it's been a really tight series so far, and it's really hard to predict what's going to happen. But I think England might be slightly ahead of Australia. I think the way they've performed last game took a lot of confidence into that. So I hope Australia get over the line, but it'll depend. There'll be a good amount of responsibility on Smith now that he's back in. Like if he can, really do some damage to England, that's going to change the dynamics of the game a little bit. Which we want to see him do well, and hopefully Labuschagne's been hitting the ball pretty well. Hopefully he can get a bigger score. He's been playing pretty busy, both of his innings that he played. Got 21, he got a 46 or 48 or whatever it was. So it's going to be pretty important on those two if Australia are going to win, Smith and Labuschagne, I think. But the pitch will probably be similar, if not maybe a little bit more varying for the next game. So I think England are probably slightly ahead depending on what the selection is, but I think they're still going to be slightly ahead. So I think that's probably it from us. I don't really have anything else to say. So I guess we'll end it there. And keep a lookout for some of our other videos. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And till next time. See you guys later.
It's all about humanity.